The galaxy was old, and it believed it had seen everything. Countless wars had been fought among the stars. Empires had risen, burned bright, and then collapsed into dust. Because of this long history, the galaxy thought it understood power. It believed power was loud, fast, and always visible. Earth did not fit that picture. From the outside, Earth looked small and unimportant. Its fleets were modest compared to the great armadas of the galactic empires. Human ships did not fill space with glowing banners or massive formations. They moved quietly, rarely crossing borders, rarely showing force. To the galaxy, this meant only one thing: Earth was weak. Alien councils discussed humanity in bored voices. They called Earth a young species, technically capable but strategically harmless. Reports described humans as emotional, divided, and slow to react. Some analysts even said Earth survived only because stronger powers ignored it. And so, the galaxy ignored Earth too. Trade routes passed near human space, but few stopped. Military fleets passed by without caution. No empire bothered to prepare defenses against humans. Earth was not considered a threat. It was a footnote in galactic records, a name mentioned only when space maps were updated. Humans noticed all of this. On Earth, leaders watched the stars in silence. They read the same reports. They heard the same insults. But they did not respond. There were no angry speeches, no shows of force, no desperate attempts to prove strength. Instead, Earth stayed calm. Human scientists continued their work deep underground and far beyond the reach of normal sensors. Engineers tested systems that were never shown in public. Commanders trained crews for missions that had no official name. To outsiders, it looked like nothing was happening. In truth, everything was happening. The galaxy believed that strong civilizations showed power early. They believed fear kept enemies away. Humans believed something different. Humans believed in patience. They believed that revealing strength too soon only made enemies prepare. Earth chose to wait. As decades passed, other species grew bolder. Small human outposts near the edge of known space were watched more closely. Alien scouts recorded data, measuring response times and defense strength. The results were shared widely, and they only increased the galaxy's confidence. Humans retreat under pressure, one report said. They avoid open conflict, said another. They will negotiate if threatened. The galaxy smiled at these words. What the reports did not mention was what happened after humans retreated. They did not mention the hidden movements, the quiet changes in deep space. They did not mention the locations that no scanner could see, protected by natural storms and strange cosmic interference. There were places even the oldest empires avoided. In one such place, far from Earth, something waited. It did not look alive, but it was not dead. Massive structures rested in darkness, wrapped in layers of protection. Systems slept, preserved by machines that did not age or forget. Time passed, but the waiting continued. Only a small group of humans knew this place existed. On Earth, children grew up learning stories of human history. They learned about old wars, lost nations, and mistakes made long ago. But there were no stories about what waited in the dark. Those stories were not meant to inspire pride. They were meant to be used only once. The galaxy did not understand this. It judged Earth by what it could see, not by what it chose to hide. Empires believed secrecy meant fear. To humans, secrecy meant control. And control meant survival. As tensions slowly grew in the wider galaxy, Earth remained silent. When conflicts broke out between major powers, humans stayed neutral. When borders shifted, Earth did not protest. Every action, every silence, made the galaxy more confident that Earth would never stand up. That confidence was a mistake. Because Earth was not weak. Earth was patient. And patience, in the hands of humanity, was far more dangerous than the galaxy could imagine. The first alien ships entered human space without fear. They did not come quietly. Their arrival bent space itself, tearing open bright lanes of light near the outer human colonies. Massive warships poured through, their hulls covered in symbols of conquest. To the invaders, this was not a war. It was a demonstration. From their view, Earth was already defeated. The invading empire had crushed older and stronger civilizations before. Worlds with greater technology. Species with longer histories. Compared to them, humanity was young, divided, and soft. At least, that was what the galaxy believed. The alien commanders expected panic. They expected human ships to rush forward in desperation. They expected loud warnings, angry threats, and messy resistance. Their weapons were ready. Their crews were eager. Many believed this campaign would be over in days. Instead, they met silence. Human border stations powered down and pulled back. Defense platforms retreated behind planetary shields. Small patrol ships vanished into deep space without firing a single shot. The alien commanders were confused, but pleased. "This is surrender behavior," one of them said. "They know they cannot win," another replied. They moved deeper into human space. Colony after colony went dark as humans evacuated quietly. There were no burning cities. No dramatic last stands. Humans left behind empty stations, silent moons, and abandoned orbits. To the invaders, this only confirmed their belief. Earth was weak. Earth was afraid. What they did not notice was how perfect the retreats were. Every human withdrawal followed a precise pattern. Supply lines were never cut. Civilian ships escaped without loss. Not a single human transport was captured. It was as if every move had been planned long before the invasion began. Alien analysts dismissed this detail. They believed humans were simply good at running. Back on Earth, there was no chaos. People continued their daily lives. News broadcasts were calm and short. There were no images of destruction, no screaming reporters. Government spoke carefully, using words like relocation and temporary loss. Human leaders did not promise victory. They promised time. In a quiet command chamber far beneath Earth's surface, senior officers watched the invasion unfold on massive displays. Red symbols marked alien fleets. Blue symbols marked human movements. None of the officers raised their voices. One by one, human commanders confirmed the same message. Phase positions reached. Outer line cleared. Evacuation complete. Then, a final report arrived. All bait zones active. The alien fleet continued forward, confident and aggressive. Their ships spread out, taking control of key systems. They believed they were winning without resistance. But the deeper they moved, the stranger space became. Sensors began to misread distances. Communication signals arrived a few seconds late, then a few minutes. Navigation systems needed constant correction. Some ships reported seeing false stars where none should exist. The alien commanders blamed human sabotage. They laughed. Primitive tricks, they said. Desperation tactics. They pushed on. What they did not understand was that human space was not designed for defense at the border. It was designed for defense at the center. Every retreat pulled the invaders closer to places they were never meant to see. Closer to regions marked as empty on their maps. Closer to silence that felt heavy. Meanwhile, in the darkest parts of space, something noticed the change. Ancient sensors detected unfamiliar energy patterns. Long-dormant systems began slow internal checks. Power flowed through conduits that had not carried energy in generations. On Earth, a single secure channel activated for the first time in decades. No alarm sounded. No public announcement was made. A simple status message appeared on one screen. External threat confirmed. Below it, another line followed. Authorization pending. The invasion continued, and the galaxy watched with satisfaction. Commentators spoke openly now. They discussed how Earth would be divided. Which systems would be claimed. Which human technologies might be useful. They did not ask why humans still had not begged for peace. They did not ask why Earth remained so quiet. They did not realize that the silence was not fear. It was restraint. And restraint, once released, could not be taken back. As the alien fleets moved deeper into human space, the galaxy waited for Earth to break. It never happened. No desperate message came from Earth. No calls for help echoed through galactic channels. No surrender terms were offered. The silence was disturbing. Alien commanders were trained to read fear. In every war they had fought, fear followed a pattern. First came resistance. Then panic. Then negotiation. Humans skipped every step. They simply disappeared from the front lines. This confused the invaders more than any weapon could. Some alien officers warned their superiors. They spoke quietly, carefully choosing their words. They said the human response was unnatural. They said no species retreated so cleanly unless it had something planned. The warnings were ignored. Humans are fragile, the High Command replied. They lack unity. They lack discipline. They are running because they know they are outmatched. The fleets continued forward. Human space grew quieter with every system the invaders passed. Entire star lanes were empty. Old satellites drifted powerless. Stations that once held thousands of people now held only silence. It felt wrong. Even the stars seemed distant, as if space itself was holding its breath. Back on Earth, deep below the surface, a different kind of activity was taking place. Hidden facilities came alive, one by one. Doors that had not opened in decades unlocked. Long silent screens flickered back to life. Human officers walked through halls built by people long gone. Walls were marked with symbols most of the modern military had never seen. This place did not belong to the present. It belonged to preparation. A single phrase appeared on every secure display. Phase 0 active. No explanation followed. Every commander knew what it meant. Phase 0 was not a battle plan. It was not a defense strategy. It was a line humanity hoped would never be crossed. A final option created when humans first learned that the galaxy was not friendly. It existed because humans understood one truth early. If the galaxy ever came for Earth, it would come with overwhelming force. So Earth prepared something overwhelming in return. The alien fleets reached what they believed was the heart of human territory. Their sensors showed empty space and scattered planets. No major defenses. No fleets waiting. Victory seemed certain. Then the strange reports began. Time delays increased without reason. Short-range scans returned incomplete data. Some ships detected massive gravitational shadows that vanished when directly observed. One captain reported feeling watched. The report was mocked. Another ship vanished from communication for 12 seconds before returning online with corrupted logs. The crew could not explain what happened during that time. Again, the command dismissed it. Meanwhile, far beyond normal sensor range, deep inside a red nebula long marked as hazardous and unstable, something shifted. Energy flowed where none should exist. Systems that had waited in silence completed their checks. Ancient human code ran perfectly, unchanged by time. A single artificial intelligence reached full awareness. It did not ask questions. It did not hesitate. It recognized the situation immediately. Humanity was under threat. Across Earth's hidden command network, confirmation lights turned green. One final authorization request appeared before the highest human authority. It had been passed down through generations, never used, never denied. The message was simple. Do we wake it? There was no debate. The answer came back just as simple. Yes. In alien space, commanders prepared their victory announcements. They discussed how history would remember this campaign. They spoke of Earth as a lesson to others. They never noticed the sudden change in background radiation. They never noticed that the stars behind them were no longer where they should be. They never noticed that something ancient, silent, and human had begun to move. Because when humanity finally chose to act, it did not announce itself. It simply arrived. For a long time, nothing happened. That was the most dangerous part. The alien fleets continued their advance, slow and confident. They believed the strange readings were just deep space errors. Old nebulae caused problems for sensors. Everyone knew that. The galaxy had rules, and the invaders trusted those rules. Humans had learned long ago that rules break. Far inside a red nebula marked unstable on every galactic chart, space began to change. The gas clouds did not move, but light bent strangely through them. Signals that entered the region did not leave. Even long-range observation drones avoided this place. That was why humans had chosen it. At the center of the nebula, hidden by storms and gravity noise, rested something enormous. It did not shine. It did not drift. It waited, locked in perfect stillness. The structure was larger than a city. Larger than most space stations. Its surface was smooth, dark, and layered with armor built to survive centuries. No markings showed its purpose. No weapons were visible. Because its true strength was never meant to be seen, until the end. Deep inside the structure, a single system came online. Power spread slowly, carefully, as if the machine itself understood patience. Lights activated in long lines, running across the hull like quiet veins. Internal systems checked themselves, comparing present conditions with plans written hundreds of years ago. Everything matched. The Supercarrier had been built during a time when humanity was still new to the stars. Back then, humans had listened to the galaxy. They heard stories of extinction, betrayal, and conquest. They learned quickly that survival did not belong to the loud. It belonged to the prepared. So they built in secret. Entire generations worked without public praise. Shipyards hidden inside asteroids. Materials moved through false routes. Budgets buried under harmless research names. Even most human governments never knew the full truth. Only a small group understood what this machine was for. It was not designed to fight battles. It was designed to end wars. Inside the Supercarrier, artificial intelligence cores aligned and synchronized. Memory systems loaded records of galactic species, weapons, tactics, and psychology. Every known empire was already studied. Every weakness already mapped. The AI did not feel pride. It felt purpose. A signal reached the carrier from Earth. It carried no emotion, no speech, no warning. Just a code older than most human colonies. Activation confirmed. The carrier responded. Outside the nebula, alien scouts suddenly lost contact. Their signals vanished without trace. Commanders demanded answers. None came. Then the nebula itself began to glow. Not brightly. Not suddenly. Just enough to be noticed. Alien sensors struggled to focus. Readings climbed off scale, then collapsed. Gravity patterns twisted in impossible ways. Space looked wrong. Some commanders ordered a retreat. It was too late. From within the red clouds, something moved. Slowly at first. Calmly. With absolute control. The Supercarrier emerged not like a weapon, but like a fact. Its presence filled space, dwarfing everything around it. Its hull reflected the nebula's light, revealing countless structures, hangar lines, and energy channels. Weapons remained silent. That silence was terrifying. Every alien sensor focused on it, and failed. They could not measure its size. They could not count its systems. They could not predict its movement. It was beyond their models. Across human command networks, a single status update appeared. Asset visible. Earth did not celebrate. Earth did not speak. Because this was not a moment for pride. It was a moment of judgment. And the galaxy was about to learn what humans had been hiding all along. The alien fleets saw it at the same time. For a brief moment, no one spoke. Battle-hardened commanders, veterans of 100 conquests, stared at their displays in silence. Their minds tried to place the object in front of them into known categories. Battleship. Carrier. Station. Weapon. None of the words fit. The human supercarrier did not rush forward. It did not threaten. It did not even power its weapons. It simply moved into open space and stopped. That was enough. Alien sensors screamed warnings. Power readings spiked beyond safe limits. Gravity distortions wrapped around the ship like a controlled storm. Every scan returned incomplete data, as if the supercarrier decided what could be seen. Some crews felt the change physically. A pressure in the chest. A deep vibration through the hull. A sense that space itself had become heavy. One alien commander finally broke the silence. "What is that?" he asked. No one answered. Analysts worked fast, pulling data from every system. Their faces changed as the numbers climbed. This ship was not supported by a fleet. It was the fleet. Its internal energy output rivaled entire star systems. Its armor was layered with materials the galaxy believed impossible to manufacture at scale. This was not a new weapon. This was something built over centuries. Fear began to spread, not as panic, but as realization. The alien command channel lit up with urgent messages. Some demanded an immediate retreat. Others ordered weapons to lock on. None of the orders were followed. Targeting systems could not get a fix. Weapons crews reported interference they could not clear. Missile guidance failed. Energy weapons scattered before reaching effective range. The supercarrier did nothing. That made it worse. Then a signal cut through every channel. Clear. Simple. Human. This is Earth. The message carried no anger. No threat. No demand. You entered human space. A pause followed. Then the final line arrived. This is the answer you forced us to give. The signal ended. No further explanation came. Alien leaders understood something in that moment. The humans had not built this ship to win battles. They had built it to remove choice. Every move the invaders could make had already been considered. Some commanders ordered full retreat. Engines powered up across the fleets. Ships tried to turn away. The supercarrier responded. Not with weapons, but with presence. Space folded gently around it. A controlled gravity field expanded outward, locking star lanes and cutting off escape paths. No damage was done. No ships were destroyed. But none could leave. The message was clear. You may go, when we allow it. On Earth, people watched the stars on public screens for the first time. They did not cheer. They did not shout. They felt something older and heavier. Relief. Human leaders knew this moment would define them forever. Not as conquerors. Not as rulers. But as the species the galaxy could no longer ignore. Out in space, alien commanders faced a truth they had never considered. They were no longer the hunters. They were guests in a territory that had been defended long before they arrived. And the host had finally stood up. The galaxy waited for the first shot. It never came. Weapons across the alien fleets were powered and ready, yet no one fired. Commanders understood what stood before them was not just stronger, it was final. One mistake would not start a battle. It would end everything. The human supercarrier remained still. Its systems held the invading fleets in place without force. Gravity fields kept ships locked in position. Star lanes stayed closed. No alarms blared. No countdowns began. The silence was deliberate. Alien leaders gathered in emergency councils. Voices that once spoke with pride now trembled with care. They searched for options, for loopholes, for mistakes in their own judgment. They found none. One commander finally sent a transmission to Earth. "We withdraw," the message said. "Name your terms." The reply came quickly. "There are no terms." The galaxy listened closely. "You will leave human space," the human voice continued. "You will take nothing with you. You will not return." A pause followed. "This is your warning. And your mercy." The meaning was clear. Earth was not asking for surrender. Earth was setting a boundary. The supercarrier released its hold. Star lanes reopened. Gravity fields faded. The alien fleets wasted no time. Engines ignited across thousands of ships as they fled in perfect order, not from panic, but from understanding. They had been measured. They had been found wanting. As the last alien ship vanished into hyperspace, the supercarrier powered down its outer systems. Its presence slowly faded back into the nebula, returning to silence. The galaxy would speak of this day for centuries. Not as a war. Not as a conquest. But as the moment humanity revealed the truth. Earth had never been weak. Earth had never been unprepared. It had simply chosen peace, until peace was no longer respected. From that day forward, maps changed. Borders shifted away from human space. Treaties were written with careful words. Earth's messages were never ignored again. And deep within the red nebula, the supercarrier waited once more. Silent. Patient. Ready. Because humanity knew something the galaxy had learned too late. The strongest weapon is not the one you use. It is the one you never have to.